guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be trying out some new items from Revolution, and when I say new, I think some of them might have been out for about a month now, but I've kind of been picking them up gradually throughout the month of February, and I wanted to try everything in one go today, so that is exactly what we're going to do. I kind of feel like I haven't tried anything from Revolution in a while now. I feel like they gave us their Christmas collection, which I wasn't particularly impressed by this year, and then they kind of went quiet for a while, and then all of a sudden they were just drip feeding us these products. Like, it was literally one day a product would come out, and then you'd go on the website the next day and something else would have come out, and I was like, just do everything as one drop, like allow us to keep up. So I'm just gonna move my hair out of the way, zoom you guys in, and we will jump in to these new products. Okay, with the headband on, I genuinely feel like I'm starring in an 80s fitness video now. I'm glad you guys can't see the top of my head, because like literally above this part, not a look. Anyway, so I'm just going to start off by priming my skin. I'm just going to use the Glass Liquid Skin Illuminating Primer. You have to give it a good shake because all of the glitter just falls to the bottom. I don't really tend to go for glowy primers. I'll go for like a hydrating one under a matte foundation and then more mattifying under a glowy foundation. But this one has a nice thin texture. It absorbs into the skin pretty well, and it's not overly glowy either. Like, you can see it's giving me a glow, but it's not like a tin matte. For foundation, I'm just going to take my Conceal and Define in the shade F3 because we do need that coverage. I did actually really want to order a new foundation from Revolution. Like, I was quite up for trying something new, but I think their most recent one was like a really dewy tinted moisturizer, which isn't really my thing because I'm super oily. We're just using this one because it's the only one that I've got. The coverage on this foundation is really good, but I do need like a little bit of extra work here and there. So I'm just gonna take my Conceal and Define Infinite in the shade C5. I do own the shade C3, but it's actually a little bit lighter than the foundation in F3, so I can't really spot conceal with it. Alright, so I would say that I'm feeling pretty flawless, pretty covered up, so I'm going to move on to the first of my new items, and it is the Eye Bright Illuminating Under Eye Concealer. It's wrapped in plastic. I hate these so much. Oh, okay, no, I think it's going to be easy, maybe. I went with the shade Porcelain, which looked like it was going to be really light, but I'm looking at it now, I feel like it's just going to match the foundation. So when you open it up, you have a little foam applicator like this, so everyone has just been saying, clearly this is a dupe for Charlotte Tilbury, and yeah, from the packaging, that is what I see as well. The concealer retails for £8, which I have to say, when I kind of initially saw that price, I was like, it's not expensive, but Revolution has kind of gone up in price. Like, remember when Revolution used to be super, super cheap? And then Superdrug had a buy one, get one half price on Revolution when I ordered, so this would have been my cheaper item, and then I also paid with points. So it's telling me that this ended up costing me £5.24. Let's see if we can start getting some product out. I know a lot of people were saying they don't like this type of packaging because it can be a little bit messy. I can see how much it's twisted up inside. You can see the line, but I haven't got, oh no, there we go, I do have something coming out. Okay, right, I'm gonna go really slowly. I'm gonna twist it up a little bit more. Oh, okay, the color's actually really, really nice. I'm gonna bring out a little bit more. This has actually given me a really nice thin coat of product. So I'm gonna take my PC13 by Peaches and Cream. I'm gonna blend this out. I like the colour. The colour is very brightening, but I feel like it's not covering this spot, which is there. In fact, I feel like that's maybe removed a little bit of coverage. So on the other eye, I'm just going to use the sponge. I like how thin and lightweight the texture is. I feel like that is something that I look for because everything creases really easily on my under eyes. Coverage wise though, I don't feel like we've covered a lot. So I'm just going to take a couple more clicks. I'm going to apply a little bit more here. I'm going to try it again with the sponge on this side. Normally I do prefer a brush. I find that it creases less on me, but I felt like that kind of removed the foundation on the spot. But brightening, yeah, I really see the brightening effect. I really like the colour. So just quickly on the website, it says that this has been specifically formulated to target under eye circles, offering flexible, buildable coverage with a max level hit of vitamin C to actively treat the eye area as you conceal. It says this brightening concealer can be used to conceal blemishes, redness, and seamlessly erase under eye bags. They do say blend out with a finger or a sponge, so I think on this side, I'm just gonna add a bit more, and I'm gonna try a finger this time. I feel like that might work better. I feel like I'm getting almost like a little bit more coverage with the finger. I feel like this eye looks more covered up than this one. I'm just gonna go back in with the sponge and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I've still got a little bit of darkness coming through. I'm gonna go in with a bit more again and this time use my finger. This is not gonna be a product for you if you like a really heavy concealer, like if you're a big fan of Shape Tape, for example. But I feel like this is the kind of formula that I quite like because it is lightweight. Maybe I should have gone for a different color, like a light yellow, just to get that extra little bit of coverage because it's not concealing all that much, but I like the texture. It's very, very lightweight. I'm just gonna quickly use it to highlight the center of my face. Also, I know they say that you can use it for blemishes, but I personally would absolutely not use this to cover blemishes because that is going to be a breeding ground for bacteria. Okay, so that's just some very light brightening up, but I think I would get on with this just again because it is a lighter formula. The one thing I did want to check is how much this contains. Okay, this has 3 milliliters of products for £8. By comparison, the Conceal and Define Infinite has 5 milliliters and I want to say it's £6. So this is one that is going to be expensive, and especially if you're someone who likes a lot of coverage and you're piling it on, this is not going to last you a long time. So it's not going to be very good value for money. So I would say that this is definitely aimed at someone who likes lighter coverage, who likes a lighter concealer, but if you like a heavy concealer, this is not going to be for you. We're going to move on to the second item, which is the Powder Bright Brightening Pressed Powder. Okay, so I definitely find this a little bit confusing because looking at the Revolution website, they call this product Eye Bright Setting Powder, but on the actual box, it doesn't say Eye Bright anywhere, but I have checked and you can see like the actual box on the website, so it's definitely the right product. So they say, brighten areas of your face while mattifying and highlighting. This finely milled pressed powder is perfect for taking away that unwanted shine. Now, I'm a little bit concerned about this because they say that it's really mattifying, but your under eye area is normally like the driest part of your face, like it is for me anyway. So I'm a little bit worried about using this, but let's try it out. Why do I struggle so much with cardboard boxes? Let me know in the comments, do you struggle more with cardboard boxes or with plastic packaging? Because apparently I struggle with both. Okay, so looking at the actual packaging of the powder, I would say that this is one of the cheaper looking items that I've got here. Although, you know, saying that, even though it's plastic, it feels actually pretty sturdy, but it just looks cheap. And the powder retails for £8 for 2.6 grams, which doesn't feel like a lot. And I got mine from Beauty Bay because I have next day delivery of Beauty Bay, so I order from them most of the time. So I was thinking of doing one eye with the powder and one eye without. You can see I've got some creasing, but actually this is not a lot of creasing for me, I would say. I'm just gonna take my brush. I'm gonna use my finger as well. I'm just gonna take a Morphe M441 and I'm gonna take the powder. I'm just gonna go in with it, I guess. I don't normally like to powder my under eyes because it just makes them look so dry, but I figured a powder more specific to the area I might work better. Okay, let me zoom you in a bit further. Let's take a closer look at this. I would say that I have a bit more coverage on this side than I do on this side, which kind of makes sense. We've added an extra layer. Is it particularly brightening? Maybe like a little bit. Actually, I've just realized I was looking at the wrong eye in the camera. So I guess it's not really brightening, but then I'm super pale. So I feel like there's only so much that brightening products can do. Does it look dry? I don't feel like it looks particularly drier than this side, but you can just see it's just immediately creased again. I'm gonna leave this side without the powder because I do want to see how the concealer ages on both sides. We'll see which side looks more creased at the end of the day, basically. I've just carved my eyebrows out using my P. Louise base, and then because I don't have a setting powder by Revolution, I'm gonna use the Nabla Close Up setting powder instead. I remember really liking the combo of this foundation and this powder, and it giving me a really nice velvety finish. I could have used the eye powder, I guess, but I think what I might do is wait until later on in the day and trying as a blotting powder. I don't know if it will work, but we'll see. I'm also gonna bronze using my Revolution Bronzer Reloaded in Holiday Romance. As you guys know, I love it. And then I'm gonna contour with the center shade from my Revolution and Patricia Bright palette in Moonlight Glow. So at this stage, I like to use some setting spray just to get all those layers kind of fixed in place before moving on. And I'm gonna be using the Superfix Super Hold. This is the first item that I bought. I got it off of Beauty Bay and I believe it was £10, and I really did go like, When did Revolution prices go so high? However, this is £10 for 150 millilitres, and I think most of their setting sprays tend to be 100. I think overall this works out to be one of their best value for money ones, so that is a good thing to know. This one has a nozzle like this, like a can of hairspray, so initially I thought this was a dupe for the Morphe one, which is why I got so excited and picked it up really quickly. But as you can see, it is not a continuous setting mist. So I think this is intended as a dupe for the Huda, is it Resting Boss Face, I think? This is supposed to be an ultimate hold fixing spray, clings to your makeup with added aloe and vitamin E, and it also says it's an ultra matte finish. So it sounds like it's meant to keep your makeup in place all day. So I'm gonna do a half and half again, like I did with the powder. I'm just gonna take my diary and hold it up to my face and spray it on. The mister is really fine, I will say that. It's not aggressive in any way. My face does feel a little bit wet right now. We just need it to dry down. So I'm gonna speed that along with my little fan. This is probably one of the best purchases I made last year. Genuinely, they're so handy in summer. Also, this like has a strong fragrance. It basically smells of hairspray. Who here has used hairspray as a setting spray? I definitely did about 10, 15 years ago. At this stage, both sides look pretty similar. This one looks a little bit less powdery because setting spray does help to really push those layers in together and kind of take away that powdery effect. But we'll see throughout the day how it lasts. I'm quickly gonna finish priming my eyes with my P. Louise base and I'll be right back. Okay, so for the eyes, I have gone with the Ultraviolet Reflective Palette. I think these have literally come out in like the last week. The packaging immediately gives me Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde vibes. I think it's pretty clear that that's what they've been inspired by. And I have to say that in real life, it looks a lot more interesting than it did in pictures because you couldn't really see what was shimmers, what wasn't. Everything kind of looked, it was a bit same, and I wasn't really seeing that many purples. I mean, there's not really that many purples, but it looks a bit less nude than it did online. This one retails for £8, and my initial reaction was like, oh, that's not too bad. I feel like that's cheaper than other Revolution palettes we've seen lately. But this is a 15 shade palette, and they used to have that range that was like £4 and then £5 that had 15 shades, and I'm gonna guess that the shades are a lot smaller in here. I am planning a full review on this palette anyway. I think it will come later this week, so I will kind of give you an update on what I found out by then. But yeah, I thought it would be quite cute to use today. I think I'm gonna start off with the shade Island in the crease. I'm gonna take that in the crease on a Morphe M456. I don't want to do anything particularly complicated today. I just want to do like a nice quick look. Just get a good first impression of these shadows. I'm just going in the crease. And I'm gonna go for a more rounded shape. I feel like it's not bad. It's not terrible. It's just not great. I'm just having to kind of build it up a bit more than other shadows I've used lately. Next up, I'm going to go into the shade Haven. Just on the same brush, I've just given it like a really quick white. And I'm just going to use that to blend. I'm not trying to make the eyeshadow blow up right now or anything. I just want a nice soft edge. I mean, it's blending out pretty well. It's not anything to write home about, I would say. It's just not amazing. We do have a light beige up here called Sandy, so I'm going to take it on an M433 this time, which is just a slightly bigger brush. I'm just gonna try and soften the edge a bit more. I feel like it's maybe a little bit darker than what I would normally like to use. Like I would just need it to be like a shade lighter, but it's doing its job, it's blending. Yeah, I would say that blending wise, these have blended out pretty easily. I don't have any complaints on that side. I do just feel like it's not quite as pigmented as I would have hoped for. It's a very, very soft palette. Let's try a brighter color then. I am gonna go into Lush down here. That seems to be picking up pretty well, and I'm not gonna add any sort of base. I feel like on camera it's almost showing up a little bit bluey, like it almost has a little bit of a duochrome. It's not packing on that well. You would definitely need some sort of fresh base underneath, I would say. I feel like I'm really, really having to pack it on now. I'm just going to take my first brush again just to finish blending that in. And then I'm going to go into the shade Ambience, which is this one here in the middle. I'm just going to take it with my finger this time, and I'm going to pop it on in the middle. I was kind of hoping it would brighten things up a bit. It's not really doing what I wanted it to. I just feel like I've just really dug into those two metallic shades. That is just so disappointing, and I know that Makeup Revolution have done better than this before. This doesn't bode well for my review right now. We'll try different techniques, like we'll try and do more with it, but yeah, those metallics are just a bit naff. I'm just gonna take my Beauty Bay Pastel Eyeliner. This is the shade Aurora, and I'm gonna use it on my waterline. And then I'm going to take it into the lash line as well, just to try and prime a little bit. I'm going to soften it out with a Zoeva 231. And then I'm going to try the shade Idyllic over here. I think that's how you say it, I don't actually know. Let's try packing that on. Probably not the best brush to use with a metallic, but that's fine. Okay, actually, I mean, again, it's not the most exciting metallic, but I feel like it's done something. I definitely feel like it's a little bit more exciting than the metallic on the lids. So maybe all it needs is a good base. Maybe. I don't know. I'm literally clutching at straws here. I'm just gonna take the M456 again, just to blend. Right, I really feel the need to make this look more interesting somehow. So I'm just gonna take my Beauty Bay Living My Best Light in Opal, pop it on the center, and then I'm just gonna dab it out. I mean, this is also not my favorite from Beauty Bay, but I just need something. And then I'm also gonna take the Glitterally Obsessed in Moonlight Legend from the Colourpop and Sailor Moon collection, which technically is not an eye safe glitter. I think this is more for face and body, but you know, desperate times and all that. I'm also going to use the W7 Galaxy Glam Metal Flash in Nebula on the lower lash line. And then I'm going to highlight the brow bone and the inner corner with my collection Glam Crystals in Cosmic Stars. Alright, that already looks a lot more interesting. I'm just going to go and quickly do a wing off camera and then I'll be right back so that we can test the next product. Alright, so my eyeliner is on. I feel a little bit happier with the eye look now. Let's move on because today we are trying a mascara, which I never really do on my channel. This is the Lift and Define 5D Lash. This mascara retails for £8.99. I got it from Superdrug, so it was part of my offer and paying with points. So it's telling me that in total it ended up costing me £4.88, which isn't bad for a mascara. I do also like the packaging, the fact that it's cardboard packaging rather than wrapping it individually in plastic. So because I'm not going to be wearing lashes, I am just quickly going to curl mine. What does this promise? Lash and Lift 5D Mascara. Lashes reach new dimensions. Unique stretchable super black formula. This mascara lengthens, lifts, defines and stretches lashes for an extreme lash extension effect. Okay, cool. Ergonomic, flexible fibre brush with two-way fibre technology reaches every lash for a dramatic wide-eyed look. Bico wiper technology gives clump-free, one-swipe instant lifting effect. Let's take a look at this one then. Is it that exciting? I don't feel like it is. It's a straight wand. Let me show you up close. I just don't feel like it's anything particularly exciting. Let's see. Okay, it's not a super wet formula. I do feel like that brush is separating. I feel like it's quite nice. Oh yeah, it's quite nice to get right into the inner corner because it is such a skinny brush. Wand, even. Yeah, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's a bad mascara. I just feel like it's maybe not what I like. I do tend to like ones that add a lot of volume. It does seem to be layering pretty well. It's also not a super wet formula, so it's not clumping too much. I mean, it is starting to clump a little bit because I have gone over it a few times at this point, but it's also not the worst for clumping, especially fresh out the tube. Like, it's not a formula that's overly wet, so if you don't like a heavy mascara, this is probably quite good for you. Let's try the lower lash line. Let's see what happens. Okay, you know what? I think that's actually not a bad one for the lower lash line, just because it's not too heavy. I don't really like it when you have like a really heavy mascara on the lower lash line and it clumps and everything. So yeah, I guess I'm happy with it for the lower lash line, but yeah, I'm not particularly excited about it. I'm just going to jump back into the Revolution and Patricia Bright palette now. I'm going to do my blush and my highlighter, and actually we can see if they apply differently, like where I've got the setting spray or where I haven't. My nose is so glowy right now. What is that? Is that from the primer? Why is it so glowy? I'm really confused. I don't really feel like there was much of a difference in application. They've both gone on exactly the same. I'm just going to finish off with the highlighter now. So that just leaves us with one more product to test out, and that is the Laminate brow. That doesn't feel natural, does it? Like, I feel like it should be brow laminate. I went with the shade medium brown. This only comes in 4 shades. It has on one side an eyebrow gel and then on the other a pencil. So it's kind of like a classic product. It's nothing out of the ordinary. They seem to claim that you can get a proper laminated look, and you guys know that I really like that. So we're gonna see how this works, because I normally can't really get a nice laminated effect with a gel, and it also doesn't really keep my brows in place for long enough. So it retails for £7.95. And what do you get in here, does it say? The pencil is 0.1 gram and then the brow gel is 2, so you're not getting huge amounts of products. So it sounds like they say to do the filling in part first, so we're gonna start with that. Okay, let's look at the shape. It comes out like a little rectangle, like a little pointed rectangle, but mine's kind of angled, so I feel like I've got one that's like a bit broken. Let's try it out. Oh, okay, that's quite wide. That's not very precise like they said. I'm just gonna use short strokes. This is way too thick. Let me try the other eye, just because mine is like broken or something. Okay. Right, see where this is like much pointier? I'm getting much better brow stroke effects. It is very pigmented. Like, it does deposit a lot of color. It doesn't feel overly warm. It just feels a little bit difficult for me to know where to place the shade, because I haven't positioned my brow hairs yet. And then I haven't got a spoolie to come in and blend it in. So, you know what, let's just use the gel. I do like the size of that wand. That is very small. Oh, okay, it's really flexible. That's really weird. Right, see, I feel like this is where I struggle with brow gels as opposed to the Pink Honey. When I brush the brow gel through, see how it just brings my hair up in this direction, which isn't what I want. I want it to be more fluffy. I really struggle to achieve that when I'm using a gel. Oh, that's really annoying. I'm getting the same effect as I do with every single other brow gel, which is not what I like. So, that is disappointing. That is disappointing. Let me do the other brow and then we'll regroup. Right, so normally my left eyebrow is the easiest one of the two to get to look fluffy. This isn't fixed in place at all. Like, this is gonna move throughout the day. It's not gonna stay in place. It doesn't look laminated. This is exactly what I don't like. This is why I personally don't really work with brow gel, because it doesn't fix my eyebrows in place. I don't like either side of this product. The pencil is too big. Mine is clearly broken as well, so it was really hard to work on this side. And the brow gel just doesn't do what I need. I think the wand is also just a bit too flexible. Like, I can't really grip the hairs, and it just sends them in a direction that I don't want. I really don't like the way that looks, and I can tell that it's removed my foundation a bit. So yeah, that's a no from me. No thank you. So I'm just gonna quickly do my lips using the Revolution and Soap lipstick in Cake. And then again, just on the right side of my face, I'm gonna finish everything off with the Superfix setting spray. It really does smell like hairspray. It's a little bit weird. All right, guys, so here is the finished look. I have the urge to put on fake freckles right now, which I might do when I take photos for Instagram, but I really can't be bothered right now. I'm a little bit underwhelmed right now, I won't lie. I mean, it's okay, but it's nothing super exciting. The eyebrows are kind of annoying me. This is my least favorite part right now. It's a brow gel and it hasn't done anything special. I guess like I can feel the gel in my eyebrows, so maybe it will keep them in place. Well, no, because I've already got a hair down there. So right now it's 11. I haven't got anything exciting to do today. I'm not, you know, going for a bike ride or anything because it is disgustingly grey and misty outside, so that's not gonna happen. But I'm just gonna go about my day and we're just, as always, gonna see how this lasts. I'm a little bit underwhelmed right now. I don't really feel like anything has particularly wowed me, but I will see you guys in a few hours and we'll see how everything is looking. All right, guys, so it is now 4:30, so we have now had this makeup on and completed for 5.5 hours. I've mostly been editing this video, and at one point I just started falling asleep at my desk. I don't know if that's kind of an indication on my thoughts on some of these products. So then to kind of wake myself up and try and put the makeup through something more, I guess, I decided to do a little bit of yoga. That was only about like 20 minutes. It was a really easy session, so I don't feel like the makeup has really gone through the most today. But I'm gonna zoom you guys in and we're just gonna see how things are looking. So first things first, the thing that immediately jumps out at me is this brow. We have some straggly hairs just not staying in place. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. It happened like pretty much straight after filming, so it's not like after the yoga or anything. They just didn't stay in place. I will say on this eyebrow a bit more, like you can tell that I've tried to do something fluffy and it's definitely kept the shape a lot more. But as I said, the brow hairs, you know, I just couldn't get them to face the right direction, so it just hasn't given me that lamination effect. I guess it's not the worst brow gel in the world. It's not. Like, I feel like I've had ones that didn't keep things in place as much as this. This one's okay. Don't know what's going on with the left one. So then looking at my under eyes, they definitely have creased. I feel like maybe this side where I have powdered, it does look like it's creased a little bit less, but I was kind of hoping for more of a difference. So this powder's not exactly the game changer that I was hoping for, but I don't think it looks dry. So I do want to try it out with other concealers. I mean, I feel like this concealer has stayed in place pretty well by itself. Like, there's not the biggest difference, but more creasing than I expected, I will say, considering how thin the formula is. The mascara still seems to be in place. I don't feel like it's done all that much for length or volume or anything. One thing that I will say, it hasn't transferred in any way down here, which I've noticed with some mascaras, so I do really like that. I have a couple of like tiny black dots. I'm not sure if you can see them. I don't know if maybe that is the mascara flaking away. So possibly something to be aware of, but it hasn't transferred on me, which, especially considering I haven't set the concealer on this side, that can sometimes happen. So that's a plus. But yeah, it still hasn't wowed me. And then in terms of the setting spray, just looking how both sides of my face look, I mean, I'm not particularly oily today, so things haven't really moved around. I kind of feel like I almost look more oily just around here than I do on this side. Other than that, not the biggest difference. So I will check in with you guys again in a few hours. We'll see if anything's changed, and I will give you my final first impressions on these products. Alright guys, so it is now just gone 7, so it is time for our final check-in and to give you my final first impressions on the products. I am looking at myself right now, and in terms of oiliness, I can't see a difference between the setting spray side and the non-setting spray side. I think they kind of look the same. The makeup's kind of rubbed off my nose because we were cooking dinner, and I just kept rubbing my nose and not paying attention and forgetting that I still had this to film. But yeah, I feel like oiliness wise, it's the same. Same with the concealer. I mean, it's creased. I'll zoom you in again. You can see it's just creased pretty much equally on both sides. And then with the eyebrows, they're still in place, I guess, other than these straggly hairs again. But I guess on this side, like, it's tried to stay fluffy, so I guess it's not the worst brow gel in the world. It's got some kind of hold. I just don't like the way that my brows look right now. Same with the mascara. I don't think it looks amazing. Still no transfer on the under eye, which is really good. I don't think there's any extra flakiness either, but my inner corner glitter has, I don't know what that's doing. So time now for my final first impressions on these products, and I'm just gonna come out and say it. I'm kind of disappointed. Nothing has really wowed me. Like, I've tried 6 products. It's not that many, but I have spent just under £45 and nothing has wowed me, and I'm just really disappointed. I think I'm gonna start off with the mascara. It's just not the type of mascara that I like. I just like something that gives a lot more volume. I like the way the bottom lash line is. I found it very easy to not get it to clump on the lower lash line, which sometimes can be difficult. It just doesn't really give me what I want. Next up, the Laminate Brow, and I was a bit on the fence about getting this product, and now I wish I hadn't. It just doesn't do what my brows need. I don't like the shape of the pencil. I would have preferred just a normal micro brow pencil. I don't feel like the gel is the worst in the world. Like, I feel like if you have brows that are a little bit less unruly, brows that actually curve in the correct direction when you push them up, you might get along with it. I feel like it has held some sort of shape, but it's not enough for me. So I wouldn't really recommend this product. It's a good idea, but I don't think the execution is quite there, unfortunately. The brightening powder, I don't feel like it's made a difference at this stage in the day, but I will say I didn't feel like it left my under eyes feeling dry, which is like really big for me. That doesn't ever happen. Did it really brighten? No, but I am super pale, so you know, I feel like it's harder to brighten on me than it would be on someone else. Do I want to try it with other concealers? Absolutely. And I have just remembered that I also said I would dust some of this on over oily skin to see what it looked like. I'm just going to take a random brush. Does it work as a blotting powder? Okay, I feel like it would, so I'm not mad at it. Again, £8. Listen, I'm not really happy with these Revolution prices. I feel like I've kind of overpaid for some of these items for the fact that they don't perform how I would like them to, but I'll carry on using it. I feel like it's one of the products that I'm happiest with and one of the products that is easier for me to use up because it's a powder. It just doesn't brighten my under eye or set it, so it's not fit for that purpose. Next up, the concealer. I'm not entirely mad at it. I do think, again, £8, a little bit too much considering how little product you get compared to their other concealers. I think this concealer is just made for a certain type of person. So if you are someone who likes your Tarte Shape Tape, you know, all these thicker, heavier concealers that have a lot of coverage, you're not gonna like this because it's a much thinner product, it doesn't have that coverage. But if you are someone who just wants something a bit lighter, just a bit of brightening, you're more the audience for this product. That's who I'd say that this is for. I would say this is probably one of the products that I'm happier with today. I just think it's made for a very specific audience and it's not going to be to everyone's taste. The Superfix Super Hold Misting Spray. At this stage I feel like it didn't really do what it said it would do on the tin. I mean, I felt equally as oily on each side of my face. I want to test this one some more. I think it'd be interesting to test it over the summer, but as of right now, just for the purpose of keeping me matte like it said it would, didn't really notice that. And then finally we have the palette. I have obviously said that I'm going to be doing a review on it, which is absolutely my plan. However, at this stage I'm not super impressed. I don't think the look that I've done is hideous, but I did cover it in glitter because I didn't really like it, so we'll see how that goes in the review. So yeah, overall, as I said, I'm not feeling particularly excited about any of these products. It's not like I necessarily feel that they are all bad products. I think some of them just haven't worked for me, but again, considering that this is almost £45 spent, that's really disappointing. So I'm sorry that this week's first video is a little bit negative, but as I said, I'll keep using these. I might even put some of these in my products that I want to use up, so I might be able to give you some updates on them pretty soon, or they might end up in an empties video and then I can give you my final thoughts. But yeah, at this stage today, unfortunately, I'm a little bit disappointed. So that is it for today's video, guys. Again, sorry that the first one this week is so negative, but I do hope that you still enjoyed it. Definitely let me know in the comments if you tried any of these products, what you thought of them. I feel like at this point, if I hear that they've worked for someone else, it would almost make me happy because I'd be like, all right, it's just me. So definitely let me know in the comments. As well as that, if you did enjoy the video, then do make sure that you give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, then make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.